Yesterday I did a video. I was talking about seeds and stuff like that, and then I said that I learned like mugwort shouldn't be by sage or something like that, and then I got curious and did some research. And I also found 5 plants that are good to plant near sage. So one is brassicas, cabbage and broccoli and kale. Brussels sprouts, all that stuff. It says sage repels cabbage moths, loopers, cabbage maggots, cabbage worms, flea beetles, and all other things that attack brassicas. Carrots. Sage repels the carrot rust fly. Strawberries. The sage can deter pests and actually make the strawberries taste better. Tomatoes. Sage repels flea beetles or spider mites. Or sage repels flea beetles, but for spider mites, pair sage and cilantro for tomato worms. For spider mites, pair sage and cilantro. For tomato worms, sage, calendula, and borage. And then rosemary is a good plant to plant next to your sage. I guess you don't want to plant the other herbs and stuff because they want it moist, and sage would prefer to stay dry, on the drier side. But lavender, because lavender would rather be dry too. So I found the 5 plants to avoid with sage, and it says cucumbers. Don't put cucumbers near your sage. It stunts their growth. So instead of putting cucumbers near sage, put cucumbers near catnip, chives, dill, marigolds, and radishes to deter the cucumber beetle. Alums, which is in the onion family, so onion stuff, garlic, all the onion family. Because they need a moisture soil than sage. Try savory and chamomile planted with onions, but don't plant onions next to sage. Rue inhibits the growth of sage. And also keep rue away from cabbage and basil. Rue deters cucumber beetles and does well under fig trees. And wormwood. See, I knew it was either mugwort or wormwood, but I'm gonna still look at the mugwort. Wormwood, it can harm the sage. Instead of having wormwood near the sage, they suggest nasturtiums, and I have some nice ones. So that's what I'm gonna do. In the spring, I have sages kind of spread out everywhere, and I need to dig some up and put them in one spot. Like the sage and the lavender and the rosemary all together, so they can be drier. Put the drier things, and then I'm making a shade garden for the shade area. So yeah, rue does well under fig trees. Did I say that? Wormwood can harm sage. So instead of using wormwood, use nasturtiums. And I have some really nice ones. Fennel and allelopathic, meaning it will stunt the growth and cause it to flower too early. So plants that you shouldn't plant near sage or cucumbers, any kind of onion, rue, wormwood, and fennel. And I got that information from masterclass.com. Was I want to say essay, maybe an essay, is that what you call it? It was a piece written by Ron Finley. So yeah. Oh, and I found some, because I have a whole area that I have to, it's like a shade garden, and really nothing grows unless it's something that does well in the shade. So some things that do well in the shade are hellebores, bleeding hearts, columbine. I have some columbine. Brunera, they have blue flowers. Hostas, but the slugs eat them. Hardy ground orchids, those are really pretty. Violas, toad lilies. Heuchera, Heuchera, but I found a place called Bluestone Perennials, and they have colors in that plant in purples and blacks, and I mean they even have a white one, and they have, they're not cheap though, like $18 a plant. Between $16 and $18 a plant. So but maybe one day. So they have Bluestone Perennials, lungwort, foxglove, Jack in the Pulpit. Jack in the Pulpit I didn't even know was like a pitcher plant. So when I found that out, I was like, woo! And then Lily of the Valley. So those are some options. What I thought would be real pretty is in the whole shade area, do like black grass with some black hellebores, and say I got some columbine, bleeding hearts, and these are Heuchera. Boy, if I had money, those things, they sure are nice. But yeah, so that's 5 plants to plant near sage and 5 plants to not plant near sage.